Welcome back. Today I am going to try to play a rated rapid game on chess.com. If you followed along my last couple of videos in which I played rapid games, I had a draw and then a win in my last game, which brought me up to 1194. So if I get the same amount of points for winning this game that I got for winning the last few, I'll break 1200 today, if I win. Whether I win or lose, I will try to evaluate the game afterward. I don't know what I'm going to get when I click play. I hope I'm in the right headspace. I hope that I can roll with whatever my opponent does if they just make some seemingly random pawn moves. I'll try to respond as best I can. If they seem to know they're opening out really far or play really fast or really slow, I'm going to try not to let those things bother me like they have in previous games. Let's go. Okay, I got the black pieces. We have d4. Let's get the knight out to f6. Okay, this is the Tartakower attack. I think I can just play d5 and then go this way. I don't think I want to put this knight here because, the bishop on f5 because it can just be met with that, right? No, because I could take that. So maybe I can put the bishop on f5. I don't know. And then e6 and get this bishop out somewhere. Okay. Well, there is that. Okay. Have they just trapped that bishop already? It can break my pawn structure, or I can just if I put it here, they can play the pawn move. Or should I try to induce that pawn move? You know what? Let's see what they want to do. Okay, that's what they want to do. I probably should have taken with the knight, but I took with the pawn, didn't I? I didn't think that fully through, and I should have. I had plenty of time to think it through. Let's well, I guess I don't want to put a piece here. Let's do what I was going to do anyway, which is get out this bishop. But now I can go all the way to here with it and pin this and then castle, maybe? Although I don't like that knight being so close over here. Okay, let's see. What is that? I think that's aiming to push this pawn, is what I think. Because right now I have two pieces defending that square 3. But now that the knight is pinned, I only have two pieces defending d5, and they can push this pawn. Maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know. You know what? Let's just forget about the pawn push for a second. Okay, the bishop has gone back. I'm going to castle. They've brought that knight back for some reason. What is going on? is my thought. You know what? I want to get rid of that pawn, and I can do it this way, I think. Or this way, since my queen is defended in case they open up and try to trade queens or something like that. Okay, I am just going to take this, I think. And now I'm aiming here, which means I could probably put a knight over there. I don't know if that's a good idea, but it's something to think about. Also, I've now moved. The idea for me was to move that c-pawn so my queen could come out. Okay, they did block my attack in here, which is fine. I can undouble these pawns maybe by putting my knight there. But no, wait, that knight's the only thing defending that front pawn, and they could just take it and be threatening my bishop. Okay, so we don't want to do that. Or should I not worry about the front pawn and just let him have it? Part of me wants to put this knight here and throw this pawn forward, but their queen would just take it. That's a bad idea. Okay, let's see. What? I don't know. You know what I could do is get this knight in there. Let's try that. I did use up a lot of time on those last couple of moves, and I need to watch my clock a little bit because I am about 2 minutes behind now. But I do have trouble making plans sometimes, and that's where I wanted to put this. I still want to put it there. It looks like they've moved their queen because they want to castle long. Can I do anything about that? That will put their rook directly in front of my queen, so maybe I should think about that. I don't want to go here because then they can take and my queen will be in danger. But I can go there once they castle. No, their knight's still guarding that. Not if they move the knight, though. I don't know. I'm putting my knight in here like I planned, and I just used, 30 seconds on that one move? 20 seconds? I've got to play a little faster if I'm going to go anywhere in rapid. Again, I don't know if that's a good move, but it is a nice outpost square. It's a check right now because they didn't have a chance to castle. I didn't even think about that. It forced them to move their king so they can't castle. Okay, so I think that was good. And now that bishop's pinned, so it makes me want to put a rook there. But how? Can anything... Yeah, I think I just want to pull my queen up one, keep the bishop pinned for a second, and then get a rook over here. I don't know which one. Okay, they've gotten out of the pin. That's interesting. But that does allow me to take the bishop, which would force a queen trade, and then I would have a rook on an open file, but I don't know if that's good. I'm going to do this first. I guess they could threaten the knight with this or this. Either one of those knight. Oh, they've moved the bishop, but I can still take it from there. I don't know if I want to, though. Let's see. I do kind of want to take it and then put my bishop on this knight. Let's see. Because then there won't be a bishop pointed through that knight at me. I assume they want to put a rook here, but that's not going to be really scary because I'll just sidestep with my queen, I think. I don't know how far to sidestep or exactly what to do with it. But again, I assume they want to move that rook over. And when they do, I will just move my queen over. Yeah, that's here or here. I think here. And then that's protected if they want to take it and give me continued control of that open file. And then I would like to do this at some point. Trade that bishop for the knight, which would double their pawns. Unless they're able to defend that first somehow. As usual, I have no idea whether I'm ahead or behind. We're even on material. I'm down a minute and a half or so on the clock. And I think I am recording, so. Okay, that gave my opponent something to think about. Oh, they've got that knight out. Okay, I can double their pawns now. Not sure where that knight is going exactly. I'm going to do this. They did have to double their pawns, so I wish I had put my queen on a dark square. But I can just take that pawn, I think. Can still capture here, but I'm aiming at that now. So I think they need to move that rook. And I'm one pawn ahead, but it was a doubled pawn. Okay, they did move the rook. They're threatening this. I can check, but they can block. Wait, if I check, they have to block, don't they? And then if I take this, oh no, they could take back with their queen. Okay, I want to do it anyway. I think they have to block. I don't think they have any choice. Okay, now that rook is pinned. I have to be careful. I think one of the ways I want to be careful is giving my king an out here. See if they want to take this or what do they want to do. You know what? Now that I think about it, no, I didn't. They have two pieces aimed at that square. I was thinking to just go ahead and go one. That would defend my knight further up. But, oh, they've gotten the king out of the pin. Okay. So they're thinking about something like this. Maybe. Let's go ahead and knock off that rook. I can bring my queen back, I think, if I need to. Yeah, that was pretty much required at that point. I don't want to get in a situation where I'm running out of stuff to do. But, yeah, I think I'm going to pull this back here. That defends that, and it also would defend a rook over here, facing off with their queen, which would get me a tempo at some point. And even though I have double pawns on the e-file, that one hasn't been in a serious danger for a little while, especially since I got rid of that knight. Okay, they saw that might be coming. I think I want to do this to keep their queen from coming in too far, and then this to keep their rook from coming in too far and free my queen up. Because right now my queen's stuck with this. I'm also thinking about the knight out here to challenge their knight. But we are very, very even on material. Will it help them to do that? They'll get in here, but then I was going to play up. I think that's okay. That isolates one of their pawns. I was going to come up here anyway. I know they were trying to get two pieces aimed down here, but or maybe that's not all they were trying to do. Maybe there's something else that I didn't see. And they are still guarding that square, so I can't just try to come down here, which would be fun, but I can get ready for it. Aiming at that pawn, okay. I think they have to do something about this threat, though, don't they? They can't just take the pawn. If I come here, I don't think. I assume they could probably just move a pawn up or something. That pawn, okay. I too can move a pawn up, but that lets their queen in here. Wait, I mean their knight in here, but I have two pieces defending that square. Okay, let me threaten the knight for a second, see where it goes. It might come here, in which case I'll just take it, but I most likely will go back. What I'm trying to do is get my queen a little bit of running space here. It did go back, and that, of course, blocks my path through here. I want to challenge the knight one more time, I think, which will let it go back to where it was if it wants to. But maybe I can come around behind. Oh, it didn't. It went here to hit my pawn. And they're hitting it twice. But do I want to give up that pawn? I almost do. I almost want to give up that pawn. Now they're also guarding this. Oh, I can't move there while their knight's there, though. Except now I can push this pawn. Wait. They're still aiming at that. But there's nothing I can do about it, right? Yes, there is. I don't know if this is good or not. I'm going to try it. If they check me, I can go run away or block. I think running away would be better here, but that protects this pawn. That's what I needed. I almost forgot about. But yeah, I would like to move this pawn up and then maybe anchor my knight this way. But they'll still probably trade for it, wouldn't they? Or take this one. And I'm really far down on time now. Okay, so let me switch into faster mode, a blitz mode, or whatever it is, and that might lead to some mistakes. I might have already made mistakes and just don't realize it, but I do have to play faster if I want any chance of winning in this game. I assume their queen's going to move someplace. Don't know where. It went back there. Okay. I would like to threaten it with this knight. Again, kind of on a blitz mode, trying to go faster, make up for some of this time difference. It's about a minute difference now. And now I am aiming at this pawn, depending on where they move their queen. They might move it to where it still defends that pawn, but that isolated pawn is kind of a weakness now. Oh, they might take... Oh, wait, they can't move the queen that way. Wow, they can't take that now, can they? Okay, they did that. And they are still protecting this pawn. I have to move. Where should I move? I don't want to take it. Dang, darn. What if I go here and aim at that pawn? Did I mess up? No, I don't think I did. They can't check me immediately anyway. The knight's protected. The pawn's not protected anymore, though. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a mistake. I just blundered. They can fork my rook and queen at this point. That is I just blundered, and they may have spotted it because they have more time than I do, but I was playing quickly, trying to shorten up the time difference. Yeah, they got that, and they're going to get my rook for it. Not much I can do about that. Okay. They got that rook. Nothing I can do about it. Except play faster. Okay, still have an out, but maybe I should play this first. Depends on what they do. Okay, yeah, I want to go this way, I think, so I can get off the back rank a little bit differently and not block my knight's possible path. They're going after that pawn, which then they'll get the other one, no problem. I can maybe get one of theirs at the same time. No, I cannot. Okay. Maybe I can get it this way at the same time. No. Okay. I'm just moving faster. I have mostly closed the time gap, but yeah, they're going to get that pawn now. And I'm just going to have to run with it, but they're going to get my B pawn as well. I have messed up, and I will not break 1200 today. Unless my opponent disconnects, which really wouldn't be fair, would it? Okay. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying to move my pawn around. Oh, no. What about there and there? You think that'll help at all? Or will they see that? They'll probably see it. I don't know. They didn't see it yet. They might see it now. I think they were just getting out of the way of their pawn. But now they'll probably see it. Maybe move the rook over to guard this spot or move the king over. I don't know. I'm just trying to go fast. I am actually ahead on time now. Oh, and the pawn is guarding that rook, though, right now. So I'll have to be careful. I would love it if they moved the pawn forward. They did not. Okay, then I have to go here. I have to do something else. Maybe here and there. But I need to be over here to do something about that pawn, I think. I don't know what I can do about it. Here and threaten the rook, but then the rook comes after me or just moves over one, and then I don't have anywhere to go after that. So I'm going to have to go this way, maybe. They're going to move the pawn forward again, I think. Yeah, I have to go this way, threaten the rook. Let's see where it goes. I can't move here, but if the rook moves down, then where can I go? Yes, here. I'll have to go here and then try to get in there. Maybe, unless they guard that, and then in which case I'm stuck. But I am going to play it out because I'm trying to not resign just because, oh, I'm down now and I made a mistake. I knew where I made the blunder. I might have blundered before that, but it was obvious to me when I let them fork my queen and rook, but I'm going to keep playing here. And then when they move the rook, I will go down there. Unless they go down there now. Then I will, if they go down here now to d8, then I will leave my knight where it is for a second, I think. Because I don't know what else to do except play quicker. They went up there, okay. Need to play fast as well. They're going to come over. No, they're going to advance the pawn, okay. They're down to 8 seconds. 5. They're trying really hard to advance that pawn, even though they could have beaten me without it, I think. And I won on time. I broke 1200, despite blundering. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe moving the pawn was their best move in those situations. If I had been in their shoes, I don't know that I would have done that. I think I would have tried to go chip away at my king's pawn defenses there and rip that open. But I don't know. We're gonna run the game eval. I did break 1201. Okay. That got a little tense and a little disappointing. I'm glad I looked at my clock when I did and started playing faster. My opponent, I guess, did not get that message, or maybe was on a poor connection. Just out of curiosity, I am going to click to see. They've been on here longer than I have, and they have played a heck of a lot more games than I have. Over 7,000, getting close to 8,000 games on chess.com. And it looks like their highest rating that they have reached is a little bit higher than either one of us are today, but not quite as high as my peak. Looks like it was right in there, right around January of this year was their peak, or maybe over there, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, they have lost their last several, so I kind of feel bad for them, unless that's what they do. They play 20 games a day. They might just be going up and down all the time. I don't know. Let's run the game review. Okay, it said we played with fairly similar accuracy levels. Obviously, my opponent played slightly more accurately than I did near the end, but just didn't speed up in time. My opponent had 2 misses and a mistake. I had 2 mistakes, a miss, and a blunder. And from the graph there, it looks like there were a couple of big drops. I'm going to check those 2 spots and then I'll be done. I'm just curious about this. My opponent played like a 1400 and I played like a 1200. Well, that should be accurate. Chess.com could use this one to calibrate their ratings estimator, because I made exactly 1201 right now and it said I played like a 1200. I want to look at the spot where I had my biggest lead, which was right about there, and I blundered it away. Was it when I allowed them to fork me? Because I went here, didn't I? I was aiming at that pawn, but that allowed the fork. Okay. Oh, but then I had a big lead right after that as well. Okay, let's just look at this spot, which I think is the most important spot of the game. I had been ahead for some time, according to this. Not -5, but -3.8, which is still significant, even at my level. Knight to b6. I guess coming into one of these squares is what knight to b6 would have done, because I definitely needed to keep defending that pawn while my rook is in reach of the knight here, so I shouldn't have moved the queen at this point. Also, my rook is defending the knight, so I shouldn't have moved the rook at this point. And I think that's where I failed. Is I was trying to hurry because I saw my clock running down, but I failed to recognize, what's under attack here. Like, I can't move this pawn because that pawn goes. I can't move my rook laterally because then the knight's gone. I can't move my queen laterally or diagonally because then this pawn is gone. So I should have taken that into account, but I don't know that I would have found knight to b6. Wait, it says a5 is my next best move, but they wouldn't have taken here? No, they wouldn't have. Oh, wow. They wouldn't have taken it. What would they have played? It says they probably would have just played king to a1 if I had pushed the a pawn. And if they did that, then I would play b4, and they wouldn't take here. Because if they did, I guess I could come over. I don't know. No, my pawn would be in the way. If I had played this, and they moved the king over, which I don't think that's what they would have played, and then played this, it says they wouldn't take, but I think that they might. And then I would take back, and my knight would be guarding that square. And also, if I ever moved my rook, my queen would be guarding that square. Okay, I think I might have been able to find that if I'd had time. I just didn't have time. Okay, but I knew that was a blunder not long after I played it. We can check the replay if we want to see how long it took me to realize that was a blunder. But yeah, they had one move that took advantage of it, and they found it, so good job to Boritz, B. Boritz. And my best move here was knight to c3. I don't know why that is, because they would have just taken, giving up the knight rather than one of these pieces. Failing that, I should have come back here so I could take the rook. Okay, so I blundered again. Well, not a blunder, but a mistake, which takes it from +1 to +3.5. And they're definitely supposed to... Oh, they blundered here. They were supposed to take my queen, the only move that maintained their advantage, but they did that, and I should have checked. I have a -2 if I would have checked there, and even if I had checked here. So this is a mistake, but it gives them an only move. And undoubtedly, by this point, they had started to see that I was moving faster, so that might have induced them to move faster. It didn't induce them to move fast enough, otherwise I wouldn't have lost on time. But they made a mistake here. So this might not be as much of a mistake as it seems, because there is an only move, and it has to be this. I'm not sure why, But because they took the rook, which was the obvious move, the obvious choice, not only does taking the rook take the rook for free, and now they're up a whole piece, but the rook was the only thing defending the knight. But if I check, this is not what I played, obviously, but let's say if I checked, they're forced to go here. King to a2. But I have an only move now, and it has to be this. That's because they have to give up their queen for it. Oh my goodness, the king has no legal moves, and you can't block a knight check. So if I had found that 1-2 combination, yeah, only legal move is to take this, and then I get their queen for the knight. And now they have a bunch of things that leave me with -3. It says their best move is to give up the knight for that pawn, and I wouldn't take it. I'm not sure why. I think that I probably would. Let's see, if they did that, they wouldn't, but let's say that they did that because they had a machine going. Okay, I would still be at -3 if I took this, and it might be my best move. The engine's not sure. It's really close. Okay, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have taken that. I'm pretty sure they would maybe play their next best move, or one of these moves, maybe. Maybe not that one, because that would leave the pawn hanging. They might play this. If you faced a lot of opponents at my level, we get harassed by these knights because they move in mysterious ways, and so that my opponent might have tried to take advantage of that and get me to blunder away something. But if they had done that, I think I saw this pretty quick just now. I probably would have seen it in the game that I could check and win the knight. Okay, but none of that happened. That was a miss because I didn't check down here. And like I said, I could have even taken it to even by checking there, but this one requires a couple of things on my part that I can learn right now. I can throw it into my brain. If I check, because I'm supposed to look for checks on every turn, right? Especially after the opening. Once the game's opened up a little bit, once we have pieces out, I'm supposed to be looking for possible checks just in case. If I had looked and said to myself, what checks do I have? Those are the only two, I think, and I could have evaluated them. This check allows the king to move over one, and then I could check down here. The rook would have to block, and I would take the rook with my knight. So that's how that comes out even, is because I've just gone down a rook, but I would go back up the rook, I guess. I'm not going to follow that line entirely out, but if I had been looking for checks, I also would have seen this, and in that case, there's only one legal move, and that's there. And then when I check here, they can't go back down because my queen's still down there, and they'd have to give up their queen. So yeah, I'd had a little more time, and if I had been remembering my checklist, checking for checks, but I didn't. So I missed that opportunity here. Stockfish thinks it's slightly better if they had taken back with the pawn, but taking back with the rook is not bad. That was not among my best moves, but it wasn't a blunder or anything like that. It looks like we just stayed around +4 here for a little while. That was my best move in this situation. Yeah, they shouldn't have worried about their h-pawns. They should have taken my pawn now. So playing that brought us back down to +4. Knight to f2 was good. And again, they were supposed to take my pawn instead of moving theirs, but they moved theirs. Oh, I was supposed to move my a-pawn now? Well, they would have just taken the b-pawn then. I don't know what difference that would have made. Oh, that was excellent? Okay. I think we learned something from that, and I know it's kind of people call it dirty flagging, but we did, after all, agree to a 10-minute game. And at my level, I don't think there's any reason for anyone to resign, including my opponents. Even if I'm ahead, I don't have any problem with my opponent playing out their side of it, as long as they're not stalling or something. If they can play faster than I can and avoid me beating them, good for them. This opponent did not speed up when I did. You know what, the one thing I was wondering about is, should they have kept worrying about advancing their pawn? That's what I wanted to know here. I moved up. Was a4 their best move? It was. Okay, it was among their best moves. See, this is the situation where I thought they went through a lot of trouble to advance this pawn, when maybe they should have been trying to attack over here, and I don't know exactly how they could have done that. But they definitely could have lined up a rook with this, and somehow maybe gotten a knight over here, right? If the rook was here, that pawn would have been pinned. That knight would have been a check, and then the king would have had to go someplace. I don't know where, maybe here. But then, I don't know, you can come in here and threaten this pawn because the rook's already pointed at it. And if you start harassing my king and chipping away at these pawns, that's what I wanted to know, because I think that's what I would have been tempted to do. But then again, they were starting to get close to me on time, under 2 minutes, with no increment, and sometimes just getting the queen is the fastest thing to do. That was among their best moves. I should have come here, it says. Now, but instead I decided to go for the fork, which wasn't great. Okay. And they should have just ignored it and played knight to d5. Oh, because that would have protected that spot. That's not ignoring it. Okay. But instead they moved their king, and that was okay on my part. Now they are supposed to play a5. Okay, so Stockfish is saying, regardless of the clock, it is better to just push that pawn. And a6 was their best move here, which they played. Knight to d6, my best move. They should have played rook to b8 now, but instead they went here. My best move. Sorry, my phone is buzzing. I had it silenced this time, but I could hear it vibrating. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Getting text from children and the school all at the same time, plus emails. Thank you, whoever it was that just commented on one of my videos while I was recording this one. I will get to your comment as soon as I have a chance. Okay, that was my best move. This was not among their best moves. Took us back to +8. My best move. Okay, so I was doing pretty good making their pawn work difficult here. That was not among their best moves. Took us back to +8. Okay, and again here I was just trying to play fast. It says g5 is my best move, to be honest, or go ahead and put the knight down here now. I wasn't sure about that. I just did that to go quickly because I saw how low my opponent was on time. That was their best move. I didn't actually need to get here now because I'm already covering that square. I could have stayed here and played king to g7. My best move? Really? Okay, well I played that and that's really bad. And they played that, which was their best move. But they ran out of time. Okay, thank you for spending your time here. I don't know what else to say about this game, except obviously I still have some more work to do, but I'm happy I got back above 1200. I'll see you next time.